Hello and welcome back to today's session of Market Live Analysis. And of course, name is Nolan Amadi, and I know you all have missed me for a while because this show has been a minute. The last time we did it, I'm sure you guys already missed me on this show. And kickstarting this year, this show is now back live to you guys. And you know what we do? We look into the market, the general market, crypto, and the traditional market, and we make our comparison. But as well, we make real clear price predictions of what could possibly be happening in the nearest future. And don't forget, I know you all miss me, and don't forget, while you're still excited that this show is back right again, don't forget to hit the like button, tick the bell icon once again, so you don't get to miss this type of show, to miss this show whenever we go live again. And also some of our contents that are still going to be coming live in the immediate short term and in the future. Do make sure you tick that bell icon and tick the like button so you don't miss a bit, so you always stay updated to whatsoever that is coming from this channel. And don't forget, my name is Nolan Amadi, and in today's session, like I said, we're going to be reviewing the general crypto market and the traditional, the stock market. I mean, there's been a whole lot of crazy things happening in this market. So we're going to be looking at what is currently happening and what has been the drive to every down times. I know coming through 2021, I'm just going to give a quick wrap of what happened in 2021. I could remember vividly starting 2021 how we moved from we saw substantial gains in the crypto market coming through 2021, right from all major ecosystems. From the Binance Smart Chain, we saw the meme tokens as well did increasingly high, and we saw bubble from the NFTs, we saw the metaverse, we saw the Polkadot, we saw the DeFi's coming through. 2021 performed extremely well. So 2021, I'm going to say from this point, it was an interesting year for the crypto market as well. Bitcoin did peak at around $67,000 in 2021, which as well got to the crypto, which made the crypto market cap pulled up to $1 trillion in the market cap. I mean, that's a huge one for the crypto market come the last year. So we saw gains in the crypto market 2021, and as well 2021 was the second year of the bull market. So coming through 2022, which is the third year of the bull market, what are we more likely going to see, and what is currently happening to the crypto market? We've been seeing Bitcoin since we started this year putting some negative movement and crashing from all the way from the yearly open, which is at $46,100 up to crashing down to $33,000 mark. This of course caused lots of crashes across every market. We saw altcoins drain significantly down. We saw majority of the tokens lost about 80 to 90% because of this crash. And today we're going to be looking at what is actually driving this market and why are we not yet really seeing these huge returns in the market. I know every one of you right now watching me came into 2022 with this huge vibes of, this is my year of making profit. This is my year I'm going to buy the Lambo. This is my year. This is the year I'm going to buy the Lambo and do real great stores, all right, for your friends and your family. So what has actually been making you kind of like feel that we're not going to, it was kind of like making you feel that you're still not going to achieve that target? We're going to look at the few key factors that have been driving the market, which as well have been driving you to be feeling positive, to be feeling negative about the market. So currently right now on my screen, we're seeing Bitcoin trading at the $43,600 mark, and it's up 16% in the last 7 days. And Ethereum currently trading at $3,100 mark. We also seen Solana, BNB, SRP, they're all still positive at the moment, and they have literally been on an average 15% up in the last 7 days. And still at the moment, we're seeing stable coins like USDC, DAI, BUSD, all red, which is telling us that at this particular point, we're seeing volume move from the stable coins to the crypto market. I mean, this is telling you that now people are literally converting all their stable coins to buying cryptos, and that's something positive. That's something that's been happening in the last 7 days. I'm reporting to you. So heading over to, we're going to look into Binance to better understand what is currently going and what we have as our top gainers and our top losers for in the last 24 hours. We have on our top gainers, we have coins like Vibe, CLV, SLK, OGN, UFT, True, EGLD, Pondis, DAO, and BFI. So we're seeing these guys as the top gainers, still on an average of about the highest 53% down to the lowest, which is still about 11% so far in the last 24 hours. Now on the top loser side, of course, the market doesn't always, you don't always see the market in greens. There are always cases where we see the market in red. So who are these guys that has been losing in the last 24 hours? We have SLP, which is down 25%. We have FIDE, and of course SLP have actually been doing very well in the last 24 hours, but currently it's been down. I mean, profits have been shared. A lot of people that bought it at a relatively low price are currently selling. And now we see FIDA, we see Hedgig, BNX, CND, and EPS, all to Zen and Beta, all literally down on an average of, let me say, 10% reporting right now in the last 24 hours. So still top of the game, top volume in the last 24 hours. We're talking about Bitcoin still topping, still at the top of the charts. Ethereum, SLP, Bitcoin Cash, SRP, SHIB, Solana, Luna, Matic, and BNB. They are still literally topping. I mean, they have the huge volume, the highest volume trading on Binance in the last 24 hours. So next up, you're going to look at these ecosystems and their percentage gain in the last 7 days and in the last 24 hours. Still top of my list, we are talking about the smart contract platform. Currently about 10.2% up in the last 7 days, and in the last 24 hours is down by 2.9%, and the 24-hour volume is currently 38 billion US dollars. And then we have the Binance Smart Chain ecosystem, we have the Polygon ecosystem, we have the Avalanche ecosystem, the Moon River ecosystem, and the Phantom ecosystem. And this on the general 7-day return is plus 10%, while in the last 24 hours on an average they are about 2.9% loss. All right, 2.9% in loss. So that's it for this ecosystem. Like, I mean, in the last 7 days these ecosystems have been performing very well. You can see that right there on my screen. So next up, we're going to be looking at Bitcoin at large. We're going to be looking at the crypto market and the global volume at large. All right, the crypto market still sitting around the $2.2 trillion mark, and the global volume in 1 week is still at 1.2 trillion. All right, 1.2 trillion in the last 7 days, and Bitcoin still currently trading at what we have there is $43,000. I mean, it has been awesome moment for crypto. It's been awesome moment for Bitcoin in the last 7 days, seeing it rally off the bottom of 33,000 up and until 45,000 for a brief rejection, and now we're seeing price consolidate. With the big question, where are we more likely going to see price head to in the immediate short term? So this bring me into looking at what Bitcoin has been doing in the past 7 days, the percentage in volume growth and the price actions and the transparent volume and all that. So still in the last 7 days, the market cap is up 5% and the trading volume is up 13%, and the transparent trading volume as well is up 20%. All right, that's it for Bitcoin. And normally we have our fixed supply still where it has always been, 80 million. All right, so let's look at Ethereum. Still in the last 7 days, the price is currently up 3%, and the market cap is still at the 371 billion US dollars. All right, so and we have the trading volume the last 1 week down by 2.7%, and the transparent volume in the last 1 week down by minus 0.5%, and of course the transparency grade we have it to be fair. All right, so right now in the crypto market we've been seeing a market being moderate for some days now after the first spike from the achieved lows at $33,000 mark. So we're going to look into Google Trends and see what are the news, what are the sentiments, all right? Because this is how it happens, all right? Institutions or retail traders or companies get to share their opinion about the market. They get to publish it in the media, and then traders like you and I go through them, and then that's now brings about our emotions in that particular market. Okay, so now we're going to look at what is trending. All right, so right here we have Bitcoin, and from PM News Nigeria, practical Bitcoin trading tips for 2022. How can Bitcoin end income inequality? This is controversial, not negative or positive info. All right, we're seeing from Al Jazeera, who gets the 3.6 billion in Bitcoin USDs from Bitfinex Zach. So this is kind of like controversial, and there's not much of a negative or positive this in coming off that, just basically a neutral. Right, we see Bank of America refuses to accept Bitcoin. I'm going to say that this has to be a negative news. All right, and Bitcoin news telling us that according to technical analysis, data surges 20% while the falls lower again. Okay, Bitcoin sold out. Next one is Bitcoin sold out on US inflation. That is negative. All right, and next one we have Bitcoin is what 10,000. This is as well. It's more like a conversation, and then we have first mover. Like from what I'm seeing, from what we're seeing right here, we see that the market sentiment at the moment is neutral. Not much of a positive news right now in the market, and not much of a negative news right now in the market. And what does that now bring us to? It brings us to the market fear and greed index. So this is kind of like a summary. This is the summary of what traders like you and I are feeling about the market. Of what traders like you and I are feeling about the markets. All right, our reactions to the news that's currently being published by the media. All right, the fear and greed index still at 50, which is currently neutral. And on the Bitcoin chart, you can see that the fear and greed index is currently showing a double bottom pattern. All right, we saw the last time we came here, that was last year, and now it's still back to that particular price. And according to the fear and greed index being neutral at this particular level, which is telling us that no, there's not much of a people majority, like there's this balance. We don't have much greater percentage of people who are scared and people who are kind of like in this euphoria phase in the market. So it's just basically neutral. So big up in the crypto space, we have YouTube is eyeing the incredible potential of NFTs and Web3 for future products. All right, this is a big one for the crypto market. I mean, this is a big news. All right, we could as well make reference to how the NFTs and the metaverse bubble came back. I mean, dominated the Q4 of 2021. So we are as well seeing this positive information, positive news coming from these particular ecosystems coming through 2021 Q1. So this is huge, and YouTube taking a lead on this particular development. It's something really impressive for this ecosystem. So now, so far, we've been able to look at the crypto market and what's been happening, the news and how and the sentiments. All right, now I always talk about is that the crypto market and don't forget, looks like I've been talking too much, and remember, this is a live stream. Just make sure you get your friends and get your neighbors and anyone around you, all right, to come live and watch and gain from what I'm currently talking about right now in the market. Don't forget to just copy and paste the link, all right, to all your WhatsApp groups, to all your media accounts, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and what you have right there, and get them right on board. So before we get into the next section, before we go into the next session to getting to look into the stock market, because I always talk about there's always this positive correlation with the crypto market. Do make sure you hit the thumbs up button, like and share this to your friends. So next up, and we know that one of the major drive of the crypto market, I mean, one of the major drive so far in the global financial market has always been the COVID-19 pandemic, crisis. So at every point we get to see a new variant, or we get to see a spike, all right, a spike on the infection rate, it gets to affect the market negatively. So right now we have the COVID-19 cases, COVID-19 virus, the coronavirus case is still above 400 million, and that so far we have this year is still recorded about 5.8 million, and recovered so far we have it as around 327 million. So and that means it's kind of like being sustained. All right, this crisis, all right, it's kind of like being sustained. No wonder I'm going to say every market it's been moderate. Though we saw a negative move in the market when we first had the initial spike. So this bringing back to a report from the FOMC meeting, which right now according to the Federal Reserve issues statement, we have that the indicators of the economic and employment have continued to strengthen, and the sectors most adversely affected by the pandemic have improved in the recent months, but are being affected by the sharp rise in the COVID-19 cases. Okay, job gains have been solid in the recent months, and the unemployment rate has declined substantially, as we have it as well that supply and demand imbalances related to the pandemic and the reopening of the economy have continued to contribute to elevated levels of inflation. All right, And overall, financial conditions remain accommodative, in part reflecting policy measures to support the economy and the flow of credit to the United States households and businesses. All right, so and the path to economic continues to depend on the course of the virus and progress on vaccinations, and an easing of supply constraints are expected to support continued gains in economic activity and employment, as well as reduction in inflation. Looks at the economic outlook remain including from new variants to the virus. So far, summarizing this up, is still not yet giving us a strong or a negative hints about the Fed reaction to increasing rates and all that, and also reporting looking at also the state of the COVID-19 effects on the economies and as well people. We see that we currently still recovering, and not much of the death kits are being recorded. So we're going to look at what we have next, and let's check in on according to Yahoo. The Yahoo Finance. So we're going to look at what are the major negative news that's currently dominating the traditional finance. Okay, inflation's on fire. Top of the news I have here is inflation's on fire and Fed poised to act. All right, this is negative, and stock futures point to more losses amid surging inflation. All right, so Dow Jones futures fall after market rally, sells off on hot inflation. I mean, right now, the stock market, I mean, the traditional market is just filled with negative information, and this brings us back to looking at some traditional markets, some stocks performances over time. All right, we have at the moment Dow Jones, all right, still up about 0.4%, and Nasdaq up about 0.06%, and the S&P 500 up by 0.18%. And now, looking at the most popular stocks in the past few days, their performance, we're going to see that Walt Disney Corporation, we have it at $152 and still up by 0.05%, and the International Business Machine still down by 0.02%, and the Visa Incorporation is still having it down by 0.04%, and the Alibaba Group Holdings down is just only positive by 0.01%. So this is the performance of some few popular stocks in the past days, and this is only in the past days. So we're basically going to look at, now we've been able to see how negative information that's been going around the traditional finance, the stock market, and now we're going to look at what traders currently right now feeling about these stocks. Okay, these stocks being just not performing very well, and currently we're seeing that there's still fear in this particular market. All right, we're still seeing it at 37 points, which this is only telling us that right now the majority of the stock traders right out there are still panicking because of all the negative information right now that we're having currently in the market. And remember, like I always say, that there's always this positive correlation between the stock market and the crypto market, that if one doesn't get to perform, the other still is much likely not going to perform. So now we're saying that the stock market is not performing and the crypto market is as well not performing, and it's not as well performing, but they both are still ranging. They are still in this boring ranges. Okay, so far we've been able to look at the stock market, and we've been able to look at the stock market. Now let's get back to crypto. Remember, crypto has always said to be the hedge against what? Inflations and dollar devaluations. Now we're going to look at the macro scale. What could possibly be playing in Bitcoin? What could possibly be playing in Bitcoin and the general market in the coming months? Right here, showing right there on the screen, we have is the monthly relative strength index. I mean, this giving us a data coming through 2010 to present year 2022. Which, if you look right there from 2029 up to 2022 May, and still at current price, we looking at this technically, we're going to say that on the monthly RSI, we kind of like crypto market, the Bitcoin is bullish. I mean, the Bitcoin is bullish. Looking at the monthly RSI, all right, the Bitcoin is bullish. This gives us a clear. This is not just a. This is not a fact. This doesn't give us a fast reaction. This doesn't give us this is not a conviction that the market is going to react faster. This is kind of like putting the market macro state in view. All right, so this is still, like I said, it's telling us that over time we're going to see Bitcoin still relatively attain new highs, and all these bubbles and all these negative informations and all that coming from the stock market. Over time, we're going to see Bitcoin, like it has always been, used as a hedge against all these devaluations and inflation. So we've been able to look at Bitcoin and the crypto market and in the stock market and what they have basically been doing in the last 7 days and generally and since we started this year. So technically, let's look into Bitcoin technically, what we've been doing and what is currently happening in the market. So right now on my screen we have two ranges. We have the top of the range, which is currently at day 50, which is currently at the $47,000 mark. All right, we have the bottom of the range, which is at the $30,000 mark, and we have Bitcoin trading at $43,000 mark. Another important level that I marked here is the 0.5 Fibonacci extension level, which is at the $50,900 mark. Now, what are my predictions here? What is Bitcoin more likely going to do looking at this particular diagram, looking at this particular chart? All right, so on the balance of probability, seeing Bitcoin come to $33,000 and bounce off, so it's less likely price gets to break above the top of the range sitting at $50,000 mark, considering the huge and the negative sentiments right now in the market. So it's much likely we range here for a while. All right, like I said, the market doesn't go up in a straight line. Okay, the market doesn't go up in a straight line, and of course Bitcoin and the crypto market has yielded great returns in the past month. So it's time to rest. From my own destiny, I'm going to say, like, it's time to rest. It's time we accumulate for a while. It's time we rest for a while. We accumulate for a while and see what development is going to bring. And remember, like I always say something like, as long as there are developments coming in the crypto market, as long as we have developments coming through the crypto market, the market cap is always going to spike. There's always going to be spiking in the market cap. All right, and of course, remember, I always said that the bubble, the NFTs bubble, the metaverse bubble, and the DeFi bubble coming through 2021 was actually one of the biggest spike. They are amongst the major things that led to the crypto market going up and until $3 trillion mark. And also, not to forget that there were major institutions coming from MicroStrategy, coming from Pantera, DCG, and the like. So like I said, looking on Bitcoin technical right here, with the top of the range still at 50, still at 47, and bottom of the range at 30, and the 0.5 pip extension at $50,000 mark. We could possibly play it on a low volume, because looking at the market, just literally no volume as interest has reduced drastically in the market. So we could on a low volume play it to $50,000 mark, and after that the market could still come back and retest the potentially $30,000 mark before further continuation. I mean, we're going to range here for a while. The market doesn't go up in a straight line, and at some point we consolidate and give room for more development. So that's it for Bitcoin technical, and that's it for Bitcoin technicals. And remember, while we're still at a phase where we have lots of uncertainties right now in the market, like I always say, it's not always good to go all in. It's not always good to hold for long. All right, you just make sure you keep your trade short, because there are lots of uncertainties, so you don't always get drained out. And remember, our targets for 2022, like I said, like we all have already mapped it, is going to be met, and these are desperate times, of course, and it calls for desperate measures. So we're going to make sure that we keep an eye to our holdings and we don't get trapped at every point. So that's it for Bitcoin, and that's what Bitcoin is doing. All right, that's what Bitcoin is doing, and like I say, it is the king. Of course, I could go on analyzing majority of the assets like Ethereum and BNB and Solana and Ripple and other, but Bitcoin has always been the king, and whichever way Bitcoin goes, so other market is going to rally alongside it. So that's it for Bitcoin technicals. And also falling back to, like I said, on the macro scale, looking at the monthly RSI, Bitcoin on the macro scale is still going to play to the upside. All right, so that's it for Bitcoin. And don't forget, while you're still watching me, don't forget to hit the like button, tick the bell icon. That's very important, so you don't get to miss a bit whenever we go live, whenever we upload something like this. Hit the bell icon, tick the like button, And don't forget to leave your comments, all right? We're going to reply you soon enough right now. We're going to make sure we reply you soon enough. All right? So you do that, and don't forget to share, and don't forget to throw your mind back to what we've actually discussed today while we keep an eyes on the market till I come your till I come your invoice, till I come at the top of your notification bar next week. Stay with us.